Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shri Shri Radha Govinda Jiyo Ki Jai. Jai Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakra Jiyo Ki Jai. Jai Shri Viraj Govardhana Ki Jai. Jai Shri Nitai Gauranga Ki Jai. Jai Shri Nrsimha Bhagavan Ki Jai. Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Braj Acharjasta Tarasata Sri Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Astatara Sata Sri Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nitya Lila Pravishta Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Statara Sata Sri Srila Bhakti Rakshak Shri Dhara Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Vishnu Pad Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Mahabhagavat Srila Gaurkishore Das Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Srila Sachidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Vaishnav Sarvabhaum Shri Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Nuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Dasa Raghunath Sada Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Srila Sarup Damodar Vai Ramanandari Gaur Parsada Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Sivaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopi Govardhan Dvadashavanatmaka Shri Braj Mandala Dham Ki Jai. Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Yamuna Ganga Tulsi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Shri Giriraj Govardhan Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Today we had a very big festival. I'm telling all the whoever is viewing here in New Braj, where we had a potluck prasadam feast, which was very wonderful. All the devotees came and we chanted like a similar kirtan to which Srila Prabhupada chanted in Tompkins Square Park. Because we had all these different kinds of instruments and flutes and we just did this kirtan and it sounded very much like the kirtan that's on the video of Srila Prabhupada in Tompkins Square Park. So, in reminiscence of that, toward the end of that kirtan, I was remembering how on that video, it's the only video that we have of Srila Prabhupada chanting in Tompkins Square Park. You know, it was done by that couple who were studying filmmaking. Remember they did that? I think they called it Happiness on 2nd Avenue or something like that. And in the remastered videos, they have that were done by Yaduvara Prabhu. He interviewed that couple many years later, and actually he interviewed many devotees to combine film footage that did not have any soundtrack, because some of that film didn't have soundtrack. So he combined the film footage and so on that video, which also includes Srila Prabhupada at Dr. Mishra's ashram, which is the very first film footage of Prabhupada in the West. Yeah, where you see him sitting and taking prasadam. Dr. Mishra's there. You know that film? You haven't seen that? Oh my God. You're in for a treat. Probably you've seen it, you just don't remember. Maybe. Yeah. And maybe there was 2 different filming, but the lady who was the wife of the man, the couple, they did this interviewing with the devotees in 26 Second Avenue. It's the first interviews on film. And you've probably seen this where there's Gargamuni and Chitananda, Kirtanananda, and a few others. And they're all speaking about their experience. She's interviewing them. Some of them had only joined a couple days before. So, but in part of that film, then they went to 26 Second Avenue, right? Sorry, they went to Tompkins Square Park. And that's where the kirtan was there. And you know, there's Rupanuga and Brahmananda and a few others. And they're all doing the Swami step, you know, like just real like that. And so at the end of our kirtan, I got up and I started doing like that, and they're moving like real slowly, you know, forward like that. But then I remembered on the video, you see this one girl who joined the kirtan. I don't know if she later became a devotee, but she had long straight hair, younger lady in her probably early 20s. And she was also in that kirtan, but then all of a sudden, she did this hippie thing. And she went, and she did that like 4 or 5 times, you know. So that was kind of nice to have that udipan.
You showed that tonight?
I didn't show it. Oh. I was only saying that the kirtan was so similar, because there was all these different instruments and devotees are picking it up, and you know, and it just reminded me of Tompkins Square Park, where all the people, whatever they had, flutes or trombones or whatever, they just joined in with the kirtan, you know. So that was our Thanksgiving. We also gave thanks. Every devotee said some thanks that they wanted to thank Krishna for. But I thought of a lot more things that I have to thank Krishna for. But I started out by saying I was thanking for this human form of life first and foremost. It's a big gift, big gift. And then the next big, gigantic gift, way beyond even that, Sadhusanga, with pure Vaishnavas in the human form. What greater gift could we have? But our list, because of those 2 things, our list is unlimitedly long, and it covers every single aspect of our life. Whatever we have, it's all given to us by Krishna and his agents, you know. Okay, so although we're starting late and we'll be ending not too long, but something is better than nothing. Is that not a true philosophy? Something is better than nothing. So, Gurave Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Itadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha Nama Shreshtam Manamapi Sachiputra Matra Sarupam Rupam Tasyagrajam Urupurim Matarim Gostavatim Radha Kundam Girivaram Oho Radhika Madhavasham Prapto Yasya Pratita Kripaya Shri Gurun Tam Natosmi Pancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahabhadanaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gaura Trishe Namah He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vrindai Tulsi Debai Priyai Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavachai Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. My Dandavat pranams and my Shraddha Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of my most worshipable beloved Gurudev Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Ashtatarasata Sri Srila A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada, who came to give the greatest gift to the whole world. We cannot imagine such a gift if Srila Prabhupada did not come. He gave us actually everything. He gave us our very life and all our future lives. We can never ever thank or repay. And all of our Guru Varga. So my equal Dandavat pranams to the lotus feet of my most worshipable beloved Siksha Gurudevs. Nitya Lila Pravishtom Vishnupad Paramahansa Astatarasata Sri Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj. And Nitya Lila Pravishtom Vishnupad Paramahansa Astatarasata Sri Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. My Dandavat pranams to all my Sri Rupa Nuga Gauriya Guru Varga, and my Dandavat pranams to all the Vaishnavas and all the Vaishnavis. So we were reading from the Braj Mandala Parikrama book. We're getting near to the end of Kartik. It's creeping up very fast. We literally have 2 more days after today. And we were reading about Radha Kund and Shama Kund, and I want to complete that.
2 more days, Maharaj, or 3?
Well, not including, I was just thinking of when we'll be shaving up, and that's on full moon day, and that's after the next 2 days is the final day of the, the full moon day is the last day of Bhishma Panchak. So technically we have 2 more days, because on that day we also break our fasts, our vratas on the full moon day.
Yeah, they have pizza, right? Like that's like that's when people have tomatoes.
Yes.
Like on that day, the last
day. And any sesame seeds, mustard, oil.
Pizza sounds good.
Pizza sounds good.
Some decided that they were going to complete their vrata today. But when I found out, because it's quite an endeavor, so I found out, well, okay, that pizza may be sitting right there in front of me, but no.
Yeah, I asked you, I was like, is that the man? Only 2 more days.
Yes. All right, so we read about how Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, how at Radha Kunda, he had the desire, came to him, when they were just 2 small ponds. He wanted to renovate them. He wanted to manifest these 2 kundas, and then he thought, well, this is not a good desire. But then all of a sudden a man appeared who had just come from Badrik Ashram, and the deity, Lord Badri Narayan, instructed him to come to Radhakunda, to this place at Govardhan, and find the sadhu Raghunath Das Goswami. And then that man arrived, and he said, I have been given this order to provide all the expenses for renovating these two kundas. And that's why we see Shyamakund and Radhakund as they are today, because of Raghunath Das Goswami. He oversaw that. Now, continuing on, Giriraj Govardhan stretches from north to south, taking the shape of a peacock. Puchari is his tail, which is in the south. And Radhakunda and Shyamakunda, which are his two eyes, are in the north. Now, Gurudev is including here the description of the kundas as described in two very important shastras, one by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami and one by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. And both of these separate literatures are describing the Ashtakaliya Leela, eightfold daily pastimes of Radha and Krishna. So one of the books is called Krishna Bhavanamrita. Have you heard of that book before? Krishna Bhavanamrita. And the other is Govinda Leelamrita. That's by Krishnadas Kaviraj. So each one of them, these acharyas have manifested their realizations of the eightfold daily pastimes. And they start out differently. Like Govinda Leelamrita begins with the Nishanta Leela. So what has been described in Govinda Leelamrita for Nishanta Leela has been placed into very concise poetry in our Mangalartik song by Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj. So Gurudev is telling us that in the Krishna Bhavanamrita and Govinda Leelamrita, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj respectively describe Shri Radhakunda and Shri Shyamakunda in delightful nectarian ways. Brajendrananda Shri Krishna is the source of all incarnations. He is the origin of everything, yet he is without origin. He is the personification of all nectarine mellows, Akhil Rasamritamurti, and he is the source of all power, Sarva Shaktiman. Even so, he is subservient to the prema of Srimati Radhika, who is the embodiment of Mahabhav and the topmost of all of his beloveds. Sri Krishna always establishes the glories of his beloved Kishoriji, and he considers her superior to himself. Radhakunda and Shyamakunda are non-different from Sri Radha and Sri Shyamasundar themselves. And thus, Krishna also attributes more importance to Radhakund than to Shyamakund. So Krishna, because he has so much love and affection for Srimati Radhika, he gives top importance to her kunda, not his own. Now comes the description of this Shyamakund and Radhakund. North of Radhakunda is the kunja of Sri Lalita Devi, which is called Lalita Nandada. Lalita Anandada. In each one of these kunjas' names, it has Anandada at the end, which means giving Ananda to Lalita. Lalita Anandada. This kunda is shaped like a golden 8-petaled lotus. This kunja is shaped like a golden 8-petaled lotus. So that's in the north. So at the top of, yes, Lalita Devi's Kund, that's called Lalita Kund. When you're circumambulating Radha Kund, then Shama Kund, and you come to the far north point where you begin to turn again and go back. That is called Lalita Kunda there. But her kunja is also there. These are the kunjas that are eternally existing. They are not what our physical eyes can see. But these are the transcendental eternal kunjas. And that kunja is shaped like a golden 8-petaled lotus. Now in the northeast, as you come, that is called Vishakhanandada. Vishakhanandada, the bejeweled kunja of Vishaka Sakhi, which is shaped like a 16-petaled lotus. In the east is Chitranandada, the kunja of Chitra Sakhi, which displays an amazing variety of forms and colors. In the southeast is the kunja of Induleka Sakhi, Indulekanandada. It is shaped like an 8-petaled lotus and is made of diamonds. In the south is the kunja of Champakalata Sakhi, Champakalata Nandada Kunj, shaped like a golden lotus. And in the southwest is the lotus-like kunja of Ranga Devi Sukada, which is inlaid with blue sapphires. Tungavidyanandada is the kunja of Tungavidya Sakhi. This kunja is in the west, resembles a lotus made of red rubies. In the northwest lies Anandada or Sudevi Sukada Kunj, the lotus-shaped kunja of Sudevi, which is inlaid with emeralds. In the center of Sri Radha Kunda. Where? In the center. In the center of Sri Radha Kunda is Ananga Manjari Anandada Kunj. Ananga Manjari Anandada Kunj, shaped like a 16-petaled lotus inlaid with moonstones. This kunja, also known as Swananda Sukada Kunja, belongs to Ananga Manjari, and it is connected with the bank of the kunda by a bridge made of moonstones. So when you are there on the western side of the kunda, where the Samadhi Mandir of Sri Raghunath Das Goswami is there, and then when you come out from that structure onto the stairs that lead down to Radhakunda, then just to your right, as you come out of the door, is a raised platform there. So then you walk up onto that platform. In the middle of that raised platform, which is somewhat square-shaped, it is the temple of Janava Devi, Janava Ma. That was her sitting place when she came to Radhakunda. So that's called Janava Devi Baitak, her sitting place. And she would sit there and perform her bhajan on the banks of Radhakunda. Now, we just read that the kunja, which is in the middle of Radhakunda, And there's a bridge leading from that kunja in the middle to the bank. So that's actually right in that spot where Janava Devi's sitting place is. Because who is Janava Devi? And who is Ananga Manjari? Ananga Manjari is the younger sister of who? Yes. Srimati Radhika's younger sister is Ananga Manjari. And that Ananga Manjari, who is actually an expansion of who? Baladev. You know Siddhanta quite well in this area. Yes. So Baladev has expanded himself in the form of Ananga Manjari. That's why Ananga Manjari is so special in our disciplic succession. So Ananga Manjari appeared in Gaur Leela as Janava Devi. Janava Devi is the Shakti of Lord Nityananda, Janava and Vasudha. So that Ananga Manjari appeared in Gaur Leela as Janava Devi. So Janava Devi is meditating upon the center of Radhakunda, where her eternal kunja is in the form of Ananga Manjari. Yes.
It's described that Nityananda expands as Ananga Manjari,
Yeah.
and Janava expands as Ananga Manjari. So is that, what's the expression? Shakti
Shakti Matur Abeda.
So
You
they're
mean that
both.
statement?
Yeah.
Say that again. Nityananda expands as?
Ananga Manjari. You know, Balaram.
Well, the thing is that all of the feminine forms are all Shakti, right? So Baladev, being the Supreme Lord, he's Krishna himself. He also has his own Shaktis, who are his eternal consorts. Just like Mahaprabhu had two wives. They're representing his two Shaktis, Bhu and Nila, or Leela Shakti. And those two wives are Lakshmi Priya and Vishnu Priya Devis. So Lord Nityananda also has his Shaktis in Gaur Leela because he's Baladev. Baladev's two wives are who? Varuni and Revati. Yes. Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Gandhar Shri Radha Govinda. So Baladev's two wives also manifest in Gaur Leela as these two personalities, which are his Shakti. So, but even though Lord Nityananda is Baladev, but he's a unique appearance of Baladev, just like Mahaprabhu is Krishna, but something is added there, you see. So Lord Nityananda also has his Shaktis, and Lord Nityananda, he reveals the Dham, because actually the Dham is his very own self. Like in Navadvip Dham, he is the Dham Ishwara, Lord Nityananda. That's why Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj made a decision that when he had this plan and this desire to reside permanently in Navadvip, he went to Ekachakra to pray to Lord Nityananda for permission. Yes. So
Was it correct to say then that Ananga Manjari, I heard Gurudev say, Krishna won't give as Baladev, but in his form, as Baladev's form as Ananga Manjari, he will give Gopi Prem.
yeah, that is correct Siddhantically. In one sense he's giving, but he's giving through this agency, right? Just like Srimati Radhika, she expands as Vrindadevi, Yogamaya, Purnamasi, Vrindadevi. So through different personalities, different agencies, we gain entrance. But Janava Devi is very special to all the followers of Mahaprabhu, because Janava Devi became the leading Vaishnava Acharya, really, of the whole Vaishnava community after the disappearance of Lord Nityananda and Mahaprabhu and so many of their associates. So when Narottam Das Thakur performed his famous Keturi Gram, the festival of Keturi, we heard about that the other day. So when he performed that festival, Janava Devi was there. She did the installation of like 9 sets of deities. She cooked specifically for those deities. And later on, she came to Braj and stayed a long time. I don't know the exact length of time. But that is why at the end of our song that we sing, Jai Radhe Jai Krishna Jai Vrindavan, in the last line, Shri Janava, how does it go? Janava Pada Padma Koriya Smaran, Din Krishna Das Kohi Nam Sankirtan. So, Ananga Manjari, Swananda Sukada Kunja, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. So Bhakti Vinod Thakur has mentioned Ananga Manjari in various places and various songs.
Maharaj,
yeah.
Is Sri Gurdrum also supposed to be like Swananda Sukada Kunja?
Yeah.
Is it Gurdrum?
Well, not exactly, because Radha Kunda is in another island, that Ritudweep. Radha Kunda is situated there. Gurudev explains, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur also explains, that the order in which the different 12 forests of Braj are situated in Navadweep Dham is different. The order is in a different order. We also know that at Sri Chaitanya Mat, Chandrasekhar Bhavan, where Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur established his headquarters there, that he had the vision of these 2 ponds being Radhakund and Shamakund. But that is through his vision, like Mahaprabhu's vision in Jagannath Puri, where he saw Govardhan and ran towards Govardhan Hill and so forth. So this is through their bhavs that they're envisioning. But yet, that vision is taken as real, that Radhakund appeared to him there. But yet, in the eternal Navadweep Dham, all the 12 forests of Braj are there. But they're situated in a different sequence than they are in the Braj Mandala. Yeah. Now, in the northwestern area of Sri Shamakunda is a delightful place made of diamonds, emeralds, and other precious stones where Srimati Radhika daily takes bath in the northwestern area of Sri Shamakunda. She daily takes bath there. The north of this place is called Subal Anandada Kunja, Subal, which Subal Saka has given to Srimati Radhika. He gave that to Srimati Radhika, that Kunja, which is situated just on the northwestern side of Shamakund. So Radha and Krishna take rest here. In Subal Anandada Kunja, they take rest there. Then in the northern part of Shamakunda is the Kunja of Madhumangal, which is called Madhumangal Anandada, which is inlaid with white jewels. He has given this Kunja to Lalitaji. The youthful couple enjoy merriment and laughter here, naturally, because Madhumangal, right? Then Ujjvala Sakas, Ujjvala Anandada Kunja in the northeast, made of red jewels, has been given to Vishaka Saki. In the east is Arjun Sakas, Arjunananda Kunj, made of blue sapphires, which has been given to Chitra Saki. Gandharvananda Kunja in the southeast displays a variety of colors and forms and belongs to Gandharva Saka. Did you know that there's a Saka named Gandharva? Yes, Gandharva Saka. Who has given it to Induleka Saki? In the south is the green emerald Vidagdananda Kunja, belonging to Vidagda Saka, who has given this kunja to Champak Lata. Here, the youthful couple play the game of Chopada. There's a footnote which describes the game of Chopada. These are the, you know that these are the 8 Priyanarma Sakas of Krishna's. Then Bringa Sakas, Bringananda Kunj lies in the southwest. He has given this kunja to Rangadevi. In the west is Daksha Nanda. No, this must be a mistake. Anyway, Daksha Nanda Kunja in the west is made of a variety of jewels. So that must be Daksha, because here it says Daksha Sa Nanda. Daksha Sanananda. Anyway, I don't know. I'll have to find that out. It is made of a variety of jewels. Then Kokil Sakas, Kokilananda Kunj, also in the west, has been presented to Sudevi. And at the juncture of the two kundas, is a platform made of many kinds of jewels. It is also called Yog Peet of Krishna's pastimes. To the south of Sri Radha Kunda are jeweled swings hanging from the branches of champak trees. Swings inlaid with precious stones hang from the branches of mango trees. And to the north, jeweled swings hang from the branches of bakul trees. Rasika Sri Krishna plays on these swings with Srimati Radhika and the other Sakis. Surrounding both Sri Radha Kunda and Sri Shama Kunda are wish-fulfilling trees of mango, jackfruit, kadamba, bakul, and so on, which are abundantly laden with flowers and fruits. And around the bases of these trees are platforms made of various precious stones. All seasons are eternally serving the divine couple under the guidance of the spring season. And Vrinda Devi makes all kinds of arrangements for the service of the divine couple. Cuckoos coo and peacocks dance and make a sweet K-ka sound. Blue and red lotuses and various kinds of Ketaki flowers frolic on the waves of the divine ponds, while intoxicated buzzing bees hover above. Royal swans, chakravakas, and cranes play in the water with their consorts, making sweet sounds. Different kinds of birds recite love poetry on the branches of the trees, giving pleasure to Radha and Krishna. Deer and does roam about in attractive bowers nearby. Except for Srimati Radhika's most intimate girlfriends, no one can enter this forest. That's why. That's why, as we read in the beginning of this chapter, that this is the highest place of Radha and Krishna's pastimes, and they can meet freely. Freely. There's no possibility that anyone can come there. Only these Srimati Radhika's most intimate girlfriends, no one else. So on the side of the Kunda is called the place Julan Tala. Julan Tala. This is on the western side of Sri Radha Kunda, and once Sri Sanatana Goswami and Sri Rupa Goswami were sitting near to Sri Raghunath Das Goswami's Bhajan Kuti. And on the northeastern side of Radha Kunda, they were sitting immersed in narrations about Sri Krishna. Now Sri Sanatana Goswami asked Srila Rupa Goswami, "O Rupa, what are you writing these days?" Then Sri Rupa showed Sanatan the book called Chatu Pushpanjali, which is a stotra that he composed, prayer. Now the first verse of this stotra, it reads as follows: Nava Gorochana Gaurim Praverendivaram Varam Praverendivaram Varam Mani Stavaka Vidyoti Veni Vyalangana Fanam. You guess anything?
Sounds like Vyala's name.
You recognized the important word, Vyala, which means snake. So this is that famous sloka which Sanatana Goswami heard Rupa Goswami recite to him, right? The translation is, "O Vrindavaneshwari, I offer prayers to you again and again. You are golden complexioned like ever fresh Gorochana." You know Gorochana, from the hoof of the cow, or the hump of the cow, I forget. "Your cloth is the color of a beautiful blue lotus flower, and the upper part of your long braid, which is decorated with jewels, appears like the hood of a black female serpent." So when Sri Sanatana Goswami read this, he said, "Rupa, with the phrase Veni Vyalangana Fanam, you compare the wavy black braided hair of Srimati Radhika to a poisonous black female serpent. She who possesses all qualities, Srimati Radhika, is extremely charming, tender and sweet, and is the beloved of Sri Krishna. I do not like this comparison." And Sri Rupa Goswami smiled, and he humbly requested Sri Sanatana Goswami to suggest a better description. But Sanatana Goswami could not think of one at that moment. "I will correct it later," he said. And then he went on his way, contemplating the matter. Now, when he reached this place on the western bank of the Kunda, there he saw a young cowherd girl swinging on a beautiful swing that was hanging from the branches of a kadamba tree. And her friends were pushing her to and fro, singing a Malara raga. Suddenly, Sri Sanatana Goswami saw a black female serpent with an expanded hood slithering on the swaying black tresses of that young girl. Now, thinking to save her from the serpent, he ran towards her shouting, "Lali, Lali, beware, there is a black serpent in your hair." And when he came nearer, however, everything disappeared. There was no Kishori, no Sakis, no swing. He wept with happiness, and he returned to Rupa Goswami saying, "Rupa, your simile is perfect. Srimati Kishori kindly granted me darshan of her waving braid. There is no need for you to make any correction." Yeah, it is at this Julan Tala that Sri Sanatana Goswami had darshan of Sri Radha. Yes.
Maharaj?
Yeah.
Maybe this is something that's inconceivable, but I'm wondering if you can clarify a little further for me. Gurudev said that Nityananda will give prem, or Manjari Bhav, in his form as a Nanga Manjari, not directly. And yet Janava is a Nanga Manjari. So can you reconcile those two?
But what is there to reconcile?
Well, Nityananda and Janava both give.
No, but they're the same personality. I mean to say that, as we were telling, in Krishna Lila, then Ananga Manjari is there, and in Gaur Lila, Ananga Manjari takes the shape of Janava Devi. So I don't know what you're speaking about reconciling.
But yet Nityananda becomes...
Yeah, but he's giving it, you just told that Gurudev was saying that he's giving it through Ananga Manjari, right? Isn't that what you just said?
In his form.
In his form of Ananga Manjari. That's how he's giving. So that same Ananga Manjari, who's there eternally in Krishna Lila, also is there eternally in Gaur Lila as Janava Devi. So
not as Nityananda.
Who? Ananga Manjari. Well, this is his Shakti. Simultaneously one and different, as you said before. So, Baladev has appeared as Nityananda, and his Shakti, which are his two wives in Krishna Lila, Baladev, his two wives, they have appeared in Gaur Lila. They're the same Shaktis, but they've appeared in devotional forms as Vasudha and Janava. So Nityananda Prabhu, in Gaur Lila, he has these personalities that are extensions of him.
So in that sense, then, he's the mainstay of all the rasas.
Yes, yes. Yeah, it's right there in the Nityananda Ashtakam, right? Yeah, all the rasas. So we've now reached the end. We have a long day of festivities in New Braj.
Thank you. Time
for our evening Gaur Artik, Radha Krishna Jugal Artik. And we've heard about Radha Kund today, so our day is highly successful. Gaur Premanandi. Jai Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvita Giridhari Radha Govinda Jiv Ki Jai Vancha Kalpuruscha Kripa Sindhu Devacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavyo